Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Welcome to English Prose Class. In this occasion, we are from first group who will present our result of identifying the characteristic of short story from Mark Twain's Untitled Ulag. Here, let me introduce the members of first group that consists of Nurwasilah Syahrianti, Koidul Umam, Eka Tata Rosyana, Edo Darmawan, Bahrul Ulum, and me myself, Kemawan Sitra Madani, Krishnawati, and the last Intan Puspita. So before we are going to the main topic discussion of this story, let me explain you about the general review of this story briefly. Okay, first, based on Ignacy Ribos' book, 2019, on prose fiction, An Introduction to the Semiotic of Narrative, we can find that the story Untitled Ulag by the author Mark Twain categorized into fiction story. It is because the event and the characters of the story are invented or created by the author. Jadi, cerita buatan Mark Twain yang berjudul Luck ini merupakan salah satu jenis karya tulis fiksi. Mengapa? Karena cerita, kejadian dalam cerita, dan tokoh-tokoh di dalamnya merupakan hasil ciptaan Mark Twain itu sendiri. And it means unreal. So secondly, based on the literary technique that used to tell the story, it includes one kind of prose. As we know that prose have some types either in fiction or non-fiction. And this story enter to prose fiction's story. Jadi, cerita buatan Mark Twain ini layoutnya tidak berisi bait-bait atau baris-baris yang berupa bait seperti puisi, tetapi dia berisi beberapa paragraf yang merupakan cerita buatan Mark Twain itu sendiri. So, this story include into prose. Third, the Luck story by Mark Twain is told or shown on the script that we can imagine the situation there that described by our mind. You can see that it consists of some paragraphs, then the form of its story is narrative. The last, it is clear to know that this story belongs to short story, although it has written in up corner left of the script, we can identify from the number of pages. Mark Twain's Luck has 5 pages and it's still categorized as short story. Then we will move into our primary part of identification, the characteristic of Mark Twain's Luck story that will be delivered by next presenter.
Okay, I will explain about theme. The theme is irony. The reason I chose this theme is because according to the text indicates that the sentence contained in the story have a great deal of irony or irony in this, which this besides just describe insinuation that say otherwise in the phrase. A military genius, known for his prowess and intelligence during the Crimean War. In this sentence is a satirical phrase expressed by the other. The other reveal a proof and intelligence military genius. However, in other sentence, it explained that Scoresby did not succeed while a student and obtain a promotions through a students. So it can be determined that a man named Scoresby was not clever in this case, but he because a military only because of lights. Therefore, I say the wall and clever were are merely hits of irony. Jadi ironis sendiri itu kayak maksudnya itu kejadian atau situasi yang bertentangan dengan yang diharapkan atau yang seharusnya terjadi tapi sudah menjadi suratan takdir.
Okay, I will explain about character. Character is a description of the nature or character in a story. Jadi, karakter ini adalah gambaran sifat atau tokoh yang memerankan peran dalam suatu cerita. And the first character in this story is referent. The character of this referent is helpful, and the proof is that he helps Scorby's team, and he is a dynamic character.
Okay, thank you. Now with me Koidul Umam, and we talk and explain about the another character. The character is Scoresby. Scoresby is a false name or pseudonym. The narrator saying that he wants to protect his identity because the nature of the story may embrace or dishonor him. Instead, he called him Lieutenant General Lord Arthur Scoresby, which is meant to be a humorous exaggeration of the man's high status. The Scoresby is the lucky man in the story. He also ignorant, incompetent, and he is a static character or the main character. And then there is the narrator himself, who is a part of the story because he say that he is a person at the banquet where Scoresby is being honored. He don't give his name, but if we assume that the narrator is Mark Twain himself, this is also a pseudonym, for the author real name is Samuel Clemens. The narrator is the narrate the story. He don't know much about the character. He telling story by a referent point of view, and he is a flat character, only exists to tell the story. Thank you very much.
Okay, here I will explain about plot in Mark Twain's life. There are 6 kinds: exposition, rising action, conflict, climax, fighting action, and resolution. Exposition. The story began when narrator meet referent at a banquet. He used to be a military academy trainer. It's the priest who will tell what the real Scoresby is like. And rising action. Academy teacher or trainer find a new student who is very stupid, doesn't know anything. With composition, the teacher chooses Scoresby with the aim that the student would not be deeply disappointed in his first test. And conflict, instead of failing in the first test, Scoresby passed and got his first prize. And next, my partner.
Climax. During the Crimean War, Scoresby was announced as a war commander, and the teacher who taught him at the military academy, and knowing his stupidity, just become his subordinate or his member. And the next is falling action. Instead of Scoresby being exposed to his stupidity and experiencing defeat in leading the war, Scoresby always get unreasonable luck, who lead him even more to the top. And the last is resolution. Due to his stupidity, which is considered as genius by other people, he was given award as military genius and received many other titles. This shows that the best thing in this world is to be born as a person who has good fortune.
Setting refer to the place and the time. Setting is all the information, interaction, reference in the respect of the time, speech, atmosphere, and the situation of the event in the story. Setting can be divided into three main elements: setting place and setting of the time, and then social setting. Jadi setting itu mengacu pada tempat dan waktu. Latar adalah segala keterangan, petunjuk, acuan yang berkenan dengan waktu, ruang, suasana, dan situasi peristiwa-peristiwa dalam cerita. Setting ini terbagi menjadi 3, yaitu latar tempat, setting waktu, dan latar sosial. Contoh di dalam cerita itu yang menjelaskan tentang setting place yaitu the setting of this story take place at London. Jadi kejadiannya itu di London. Sedangkan untuk setting of the time dealing with the problem of the when. In the story, someday later the opportunity come, and this is what the divided told me about 40 years ago. Menjelaskan tentang waktu, yaitu 40 tahun yang lalu. Sedangkan untuk social setting, refer to the matter relating to social behavior in the place that is told in the world of the fiction. Social background could include living habit, custom, tradition, belief of the life, way of the thinking, and the being, and the social status. Jadi untuk latar sosial itu merujuk pada hal-hal yang terkaitan dengan perilaku sosial di suatu tempat yang diceritakan dalam sebuah karya fiksi. Latar belakang sosial dapat mencakup kebiasaan hidup, adat istiadat, tradisi, kepercayaan, pandangan hidup, cara berpikir, dan keberadaan serta status sosial.
The last is point of view. This story have first-person point of view. In the first-person point of view, the narrator participates in the action of the story, but it's a biased and limited view. From the account of narrator, the reader learns that as a young man in the military academy, Scoresby was not bright. He demonstrates the stupidity in paragraph 4. In fact, the point of view of the clergyman is designed to convince the reader of Scoresby's stupidity. While the clergyman used a detailed story to support his point of view, the narrator naively sides with the clergyman. This story also story after story. This was actually a story within another story. Jadi cerita ini merupakan cerita di atas cerita, atau dalam suatu cerita tersebut menceritakan cerita lagi. As a matter of fact, an unnamed narrator retell the story he once heard from the clergyman. Jadi dalam cerita ini seorang narator yang tidak disebutkan namanya menceritakan kembali kisah yang pernah ia dengar dari seorang pendeta. I think enough. That's all for our presentation. Thanks for your nice attention and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.